So, yes, a really good question to ask is, where in your life do you suspect there's a gap between your inner truth and your outer behavior? Where in your life is there a gap between your inner truth and your outer behavior? For example, you may be in a relationship with someone and you're not being completely honest about your inner feelings. Maybe you're scared to lose that person and to lose the security of a relationship. But if you were able to be truly honest about your feelings, it would make a shift in your partner and in yourself. But that takes courage, and many people don't have that kind of courage, and they're really scared of losing something. So that's a very good question to ask yourself when we start to think about transparency. Please think about that. And of course, the replay to this session is available. So yeah, you can pause your replay and think about it, or write something down. I always find that very helpful when I'm working in this way with myself. So why do we hide? This is a great question, I think. Well, it's often because we're trying to protect ourselves. And yes, we learn to hide for good reasons. Families, workplaces, schools, where it wasn't safe to be fully ourselves. Yeah, we have to play games in the social lives that we lead in developed cultures. Yeah, for example, in my family, I never felt I could be myself, truly myself. It was only when I left my family at quite a young age that I really felt free and free to be truly me. So very often families can be suffocating, depending on your character, depending on your stage of development and so on. Yes, and how does it show itself physically, the lack of transparency? Well, there are certain signs you can look for. For example, a tight jaw is often a sign that you're not being transparent. Shallow breath, frozen smile. Maybe you come back from work and your cheeks ache because you've been really manufacturing a smile which didn't come from inside. Genuine smiles come from the inside and radiate out. You may feel a heavy chest, or maybe a knot in your stomach, and you may collapse. Your spine may collapse and you become rigid, possibly. So your body often knows that you're hiding.